Hey, Kerry here, out at one of my $2 million listings. And it's September the 1st, and we've kind of gone through a slow period, and I hope that the market will pick up some, because I think we're going through and approaching a very critical time in my business. And I've recognized from some of the people that I see that do videos, that I'm one of the few working real estate agents who do videos. Most of them seem to be past real estate agents and people who are giving advice. I'm actually working to build a business and continue my business growing. And I think my recognition is we're going through are approaching the largest transfer of wealth in the history of civilization. And this is representative of the problems that we're going to face. And I want to talk to you about my business plan as I go forward and how I'm going to address the problem that homes like this are going to present for their owners. I think we're going to continue in what I see as a divided real estate industry. Those homes under $750,000 sell relatively well. In fact, I did a study September to September here in Birmingham, and if you had a house that was from $0 to $750,000, you had a 75% probability that it sold in the last year. It sold for 98% of its asking price, and the balance 11% expired. So a very small percentage then transferred over. The picture then changes dramatically as you go above 750,000 to 1.5 million. Here in Birmingham, that meant you had a 50% probability of selling your house. And if you took out the walkable neighborhoods, the mountain brooks of the community, that dropped even more. Within that price category, 750 to $1.5 million, there were roughly 20% of the houses that expired, leaving an additional 30% that just carried over. They didn't expire, they didn't sell, they just stayed on the market. So a 50% probability. If you then ratcheted up and went from 1.5 million up, the probability of sales drops to 40%, and the expired level is 20%. So that comes up with 40% sold, 20% expired. That relieves another 40% that just stayed on the market. And what I'm aware of, that other 40% are homes like this. These are the homes that were built by the baby boomers in the late 90s. Well, the question is, why did they build them? It's in a gated golf community. It has 2 golf courses, has multiple swimming pools, 21 tennis courts, and it's about 1,200 homes. But why did the baby boomers build these? I'm a baby boomer. I happen to know the answer to that question, and that is, we wanted to show the world we'd made it. We were doctors, we were lawyers, we were entrepreneurs, we were financial planners, we were bankers, and we wanted to show our peer group and the rest of the world that we made it, to show that we made it. We wanted to be in a gated community, we wanted to be safe, we wanted our children to have all the amenities that they could imagine, and that's why we built them. So then what's transpired, and why are they so hard to sell? Well, part of the problem is in 1962, the FDA approved the first birth control pill, and as a result of that one thing, trust me, I'm one of them, the Generation X, the following generation from the baby boomers, is 25% smaller. Then we had the situation in the Generation Xers bought their first home somewhere in the late 90s. They bought their second home in the early 2000s, about 2006, and then the bottom fell out of the market. They lost their equity. So they're not really in a position to buy these homes. The millennials, no. They're burdened with debt, education debt, and they don't want the big homes, the big maintenance, the big mortgage payment, the HOA dues. They don't want it, and so they're not selling. But I have 7 of these right now, and I attend every showing, so I know who's looking. I know who's looking, and I'll share this with you. 60% of those people who come to see these houses are either African American, or they're foreign nationals, or they're foreigners, okay? So why would they be interested? For the same reason the baby boomers were. They want to show their peer group and the rest of the world that they've made it. And so they are in the market for these homes. The problem is there aren't enough of them. As I said, 40% of these homes will sell. And that number is going down each year as more of them come onto the market. Well, why would more of them be coming on the market? Because 9,000 baby boomers in the United States turn 65 every day. And they want to downsize, or they want to move closer to their children or their grandchildren, and they want out of these homes. They don't need an 8-bedroom house with 9 bathrooms. They don't need it. So that's why they're selling them, and that's why the number that sell goes down each year, and the number that expires goes up each year, and the number that stays on the market goes up each year. So this problem is only going to multiply, and it's going to multiply rapidly, because in 2023, we not only have the baby boomer sell-off as they reach retirement age, we start the baby boomer die-off. I'll be 75 years old next month, or no, next week. I don't own one of these, but I own a sizable home. When I pass away, I'll pass it on to my children. They don't live in Birmingham. They're going to say, turn it into cash. They're going to find a realtor and say, turn it into cash. So why I'm going through this is this presents an opportunity. Anytime you find a situation where there is a problem and you can provide a solution, you're going to get rich. Okay? So what's the solution? The solution is you've got to market these homes more aggressively than they have been in the past. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm experimenting, a month into an experiment on using Facebook advertising to promote my listings. Let me review the results for August. I spent $692.72 on Facebook advertising. I reached 13,480 people. I made 37,647 impressions. That means of that 13,480, they saw them roughly 2.8 times. So for my $692, I have put my face in front of 13,480 people 2.8 times. I feel that's a pretty good expenditure of my money. Okay, from that, of the 13,480, I got 641 clicks. Well, now what is a click? My ad is structured such that as you page down on your timeline, my voice hits you in the face and says, hey, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm here at High Court Circle, and I do a 15-second pitch on the house. And on me, on my brand. And then I say, if you would like to see this house, click watch more. So the 491 clicks are people who wanted to see more of the 6 ads that I currently have running with that kind of format. Now, I also had a format where on 2 houses that I had sold. And they were the 15 seconds said, we sold this house in so many days. Here is how we did it. If you'd like to learn more, click here. So that's the advertising I'm doing. And it's working. My phone has rung a few times, and I have some appointments to do some listing presentations. And more importantly, like when I go to the gym, people say, "Oh, you're the real estate guy." Yeah, I see your ads and I get your emails. I do a lot of emailing as well. So what I'm sharing with you, first is there's a problem. I have a solution. One of the main method of my solution is video. And let me share with you how that works. I got a phone call yesterday, and it was from a young lady from Atlanta. And the young lady basically said, "Do you still have that 8-bedroom house available?" I knew it was this house. She says, "I want to buy it. I want to buy it." And as we went through the whole rigmarole, and I learned about her, and I told her I had to have proof of funds, and she sent me that. And she indicated that she was willing to buy it as is for the asking price, and she would put 10% down. And that's roughly $200,000. So Tuesday, she's got to prove to me that she has the funds to buy this $2 million house. And she's got to wire me a check for $200,000, or my broker, I should say. Do I think this is going to happen? Probably not. It's just too good to be true, and I've learned in my 74 and 11 months time, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. Okay? But my point is, she saw the video. She has never been in the house. She saw the video. She wants to see the house. She lives 200 miles away. Video is the way to sell houses, to get the message out there and get the property in front of people. The other thing you need to do that I think is really important is understand this demographics and understand how the world is dictated by that the economy is dictated by demographics. It is known by Lay's potato chip people that a 13-year-old boy will eat more potato chips in the next 4 years than he will in the rest of his life. So that's a primary market. You'll learn things like that from this book, The Accidental Superpower. And it goes into explaining how the United States got into the situation it is as the superpower that defends the world, and how it equates to the demographics that we're experiencing now, and how it will equate to our economy in the future. So it's The Accidental Superpower. You're going to find in description a link to this so that it'll take you to Amazon, and you need to read this book. You really do. It will separate you from every other real estate agent in the community. Basically, every other real estate in the community just sells houses. They don't understand why. They don't understand the demographics of the situation that they find themselves in. So this is an easy way for you to separate yourself, to have knowledge. And trust me, I've been through this, up and down this road a number of times. The key to success is knowledge, understanding. You should be able to recite the numbers I just did for you for how many homes, what percentage of the homes under $500,000 in your community sold for last year, and recite the knowledge of why there's such a difference once you get over $750,000. Once you know that, you have something of value that your person who has a problem needs. Equate it to going to a doctor and saying, "I got something wrong with me. I got something going on." And he diagnoses your situation and he says, "This is what's going on. Let's run these tests and let's clear this up." How valuable is that to you? If all you're going to do is tell him, "Go home, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning," you're of no value. And that's what every other real estate agent in your community is going to tell them. "I'll fill out this form. I'll get you an MLS listing. I'll put you in a sign in your front yard, and I'll make sure you appear on Zillow, Trula, and Realty.com. That's what everybody else does. How can you expect to do more if you just do the same? You've got to separate yourself, and this is how you do it. Then trust me, the game is going to change. I've talked to you about Zillow. I've talked to you about Amazon.com and Turnkey and Keller Williams and Berkshire Hathaway. One of those organizations is going to buy Zillow. And then they are going to stop selling agents leads. Or if they do, they will only sell them to their agents. One of those people are going to become the #1 iBuyer. And they will funnel those leads to their agents. And then the game's over. If you control the boots on the ground, that's you and me, and you control the buyers and the sellers, that's the leads, you own the business. You own the business. Now, who do you want as your boots on the ground? You want the guy who read this book. You want the guy who read my book. You want the guy who read the book about artificial intelligence. You want the guy who understands augmented reality, because truly what is going to happen in the future is the iBuyers will be put out of business by one organization who takes Sally and Mike into a house and says, what color do you want the kitchen cabinets, and puts a device, goggles on their house, and pushes buttons and changes the appearance of that house right there. You want that wall down? Whew, it's down. That's augmented reality. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that next week. Right now, augmented reality and virtual reality is all about the gaming business. And it's going to change dramatically when 5G hits. And what's going to happen is somebody, not somebody, I know who it is. The company who owns the largest virtual reality company is a small little organization you heard of called Facebook. In 2017, they spent $3 billion to buy the company who is building all these goggles, so that you and I can walk into this house and say, well, what if the cabinets were gray? Well, what would this room look like if the walls were pink? And they'll push a button and it'll be done. You won't have to come back. You'll buy the house and say, okay, this is how I want it, as I saw it through those goggles. Okay, come back in 30 days and it'll be that way. That's what's going to happen. You got to be the person who's ahead of the game. You got to be the smartest kid on the block, because there aren't going to be that many kids on the block. There's going to be one broker. He's going to control all the leads, and he's going to need a facilitator. And that's going to be the smartest guy on the block. That's what you got to do. Okay, I've been rambling long enough. I'm going away for a week. I'm going to spend a week with my cousins and my brothers up in the Smoky Mountains. So any videos I do next week will come from there. Let's do this. This is getting exciting.